Hi software, welcome back to your second lesson on arrays. Yesterday we took a look at just how to create and read arrays, and we were specifically filling them up with strings, which are those strings of characters between quotation marks that the computer doesn't really understand or need to understand, but that it can hold on to and it can print and use for us whenever. Today we're going to take a look at how arrays can hold different things for us, specifically how arrays could hold colors to help keep us organized and to use those colors in different places later on. As we go throughout this unit, we're going to figure out that we can stick all kinds of things in arrays. We can stick number values, we can stick variables that have different things held in them, and we can even stick other lists or objects like dictionaries, which we might get to later in this unit. But to get us started today, we are sticking with colors, and there is starter code for you, so please make sure you've opened that up and you've gone to File, Duplicate to make your copy. Once it's duplicated, a reminder to hit Save. And then once you are there, make sure your screen is set up. You can see my code, you can see your own code, and you are ready to go. As a reminder, you can watch this video on any speed, and you can rewatch, pause, whatever you need to do to make sure you have everything. Once your code is there, go ahead and hit play. And you're going to see this pretty boring project that has two things set up on it. Both of these are fake and empty color palettes where I have just laid out rectangles where we are going to fill in colors a little later on. The reason why we are doing this is because you may have seen this in the world. If you worked as a designer, if you were making a web page, if you were designing a room or a space, you're often asked to show what your plan is. And your plan is often picking one main color, big one, and then having other accent colors that you're going to toss around the room. So these secondary colors might show up in a few places. These tertiary colors might show up not very much at all. So today we're just going to practice building a color palette that looks nice together. And to do that, we are going to use the Adobe Color Picker, which I will make sure is linked in your work. I know some of you just rely on the Google typing in Color Picker. I think that Adobe is really nice because it helps us to put colors together that already look good together. And it does this in a few different actual color theory rules. So the first one you'll see is analogous, meaning everything is just next to each other. That is what analogous means. They all travel together. The second one is monochromatic, meaning it is all colors from the same shade. I guess not the same shade, but it's all from the same color. These are all purples. Now it's all reds, oranges, yellows, whatever. Triads, which are kind of equally spaced in thirds across our color wheel. Complementary colors, meaning they're on the opposite side of the color spectrum. You may have talked about this in art with Miss Mota. Split complementary, which is across from each other, but there's a split on one side. Double split means it's almost like a diamond shape. Square, evenly spaced four ways. Compound kind of comes from the same places, but picked out of different locations. Shades is one color all in different levels of brightness or saturation. And then custom is where you can drag these kind of anywhere you want to pick whatever colors you think look good together, regardless of what Adobe thinks. I'm going to go ahead and go for a split complementary because this is always my favorite way to do things. And I think this looks really nice. So I'm going to land here. And I'm going to try and put together a color palette using these numbers. I might have to do some squinting. I might have to do some clicking back and forth. But I'm going to do that with the test colors variable. Notice I have made my variable up top above setup, but I am now going to give it value and make it a list inside of setup. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to use the colors notation to show that I am making a color and it's made of three things. And this is a P5 specific function that needs to be done in either setup or draw. So we're kind of going back to that method of create your variable up top, make your values in setup. We don't always have to do this if we're not doing P5 specific things, but it will never hurt you to make a variable up top and just always give it a value in setup. So for test colors, I'm going to start out with my first color. I'm going to write the word color in. And I'm going to put parentheses very much, and in fact exactly how we've done it when we are saving color to a variable. So now I'm going to go get the three numbers for my first color, which are 117, 140, 109. 117, 140, 109. And then just like before, after this color thing that happens here, I'm going to put a comma and then a space, and I'm going to go ahead and add my next color. So I'm now going to write color My next numbers are 172, 217, was it? 217 and 158. And then I put another comma for my next color. Notice that the big difference from yesterday's work is I'm not putting quotation marks around the color because this is something the computer understands. It understands that I am assigning a color value, and so it is not going to get confused the same as when I'm saying oranges or celery or bread. So I'm just going to keep going, adding my colors. So now I have another color. It's 218, 158, 149, comma, another color, 81, 125, 140, one more color, and then I'm going to have to add one because I have 6 blocks and only a few colors here. Oh my god, I have to stare through my head to do this. 132, 195, 217. 132, 195, 217. All right, and let's do one more. So I'm going to do one more color, put in my parentheses. Let's just adjust one of these a little bit. I'm just going to adjust this guy a little bit, make it a little darker. Actually, let's make it a little bit more red, maybe. Okay, very pink, very cute. 204, 125, 149. 204, 125, 149. All right, so now I have 6 colors in here. And if I wanted to use one of those 6 colors, I would head down into my draw function where I have my sample palette, and I'm going to put fill test colors, that's the name of my array, then my square braces, and I'm going to call one of those colors by its index values. So my first color is 0. If I hit play now, I'm going to see that this is filled in with my 0 color. So right now it's the main color of my palette. I can go down to the next one and do test colors 1. Why is it mad at me for this? Oops, I put test instead of fill. It's silly. So I have fill test colors 1. Now we have another color. I'm going to keep going through here. Test colors 2. Every single one of these is going to get their own color from my palette. Fill test colors 4. Fill test colors 5. And remember, 5 is our highest number because even though there are 6 colors, one of those colors is numbered with a 0. So now when I hit play, I should see that I now have every color from my palette represented. And right now in this color layout, green is my most dominant color. I have 2 accent colors, and then I have 3 supporting colors. And I could arrange these however I want. The nice thing about putting all these colors that are related into this test colors array is that if I were making a bigger project, if you were commissioned to make a website, if you were asked to make a really cool game or interactive program where the color palette needs to be consistent, you do not need to keep looking up colors. You do not need to do any guessing and checking about which color is which. And you have them saved somewhere where you can just, use one of these lines, test color 4, and get like this light color blue. Or test color 3 and get this color like kind of navy. So we're going to practice adding colors to your own array. So you already have a variable called your colors. You're going to make a palette and add your colors right here. And then you are going to use the fill to color in these rectangles, specifically using values from your array and not the numbers themselves directly. If you have any questions, let me know. Good luck, guys!